That's a bit interesting. You're having a hard time finding friends, so you have to have companies call you and it makes you feel, okay. No. If you guys look at the diagram that's in the lab manual, that shows a cat that's both male and female. If you look at the anatomical right side of the cat, they show an ovary. If you look at the anatomical left side of the cat, they show a testis. So what they're doing is just putting two things on one diagram. Now, if this is a female cat, normally the gonadal vein comes off of the vena cava and goes here. On a male cat, with the testis way down there, usually the gonadal vein comes off of the renal vein and follows the testis down that way. So it does not come off of the vena cava. This is the only time I've ever seen a female cat that has two gonadal veins, one of which comes off its correct normal anatomical position off the vena cava. Look where this other one's coming from. It's coming off the renal vein. That's normally where a male vessel.
So those
that's
are blue
normal.
balls.
We're gonna have a hard time with this girl tonight, I guess. Maybe we'll put her out in the cold. It's a female. It's still
You're
a
used to
female.
me. I'm always
I know.
a smart ass in
All right, so
class.
anyways, they're both gonadal veins. It's just kind of a bit odd, and this is sort of the oddity with this cat, is that instead of having just a gonadal vein coming off the vena cava like it's supposed to, it has a second gonadal vein coming off the renal vein. That's normally something you would see in a male cat, where it would come right off and go down to the testis, one on each side. So that's a little bit odd. Regardless, that's the gonadal vein. Come down here. See, there's a lot fewer veins than there were arteries. Here we had the iliolumbar artery. There's also an iliolumbar vein there and off the other side. So a pair of them, same location. All right, when we get down to the end of the vena cava, we're going to see a splitting, but instead of splitting into 5, the veins only split into 3. In the arterial side, the external and the internal iliac arteries are separate from each other and they originate off the aorta. However, when we get to the veins, we only find 3 branches, 3 fingers. The one in the middle is still going to be caudal. So you'll see a blue tube way down deep in there that's parallel to the caudal artery. So there's a caudal vein. But there's only one blue tube coming off each side. So what happens is the internal and the externals stay together for a short distance. So from here, where the vena cava splits, right to about here, a length of about 3/4 of an inch, that is what's called the common iliac vein. Right there, and I know some of you are on that side, you may have to come over here to see. Do you see the blue tube that's coming off? So there's a common iliac vein right there, and then there's a blue tube that dives deeper into the body. That is an internal iliac vein, and then what's left is the external iliac vein. So about halfway to where the deep femoral vein, and then the femoral vein will occur, we go common iliac vein, there's an internal iliac vein, external iliac vein, deep femoral vein, and femoral vein. So the names are the same, but how they branch is just a little bit different. So the veins do a 3-way branch instead of a 5-way. So you have common iliac vein, caudal. Follow the common iliac vein, and it will split into an internal iliac, external iliac, then there's deep femoral and femoral. So the names end up kind of being the same. The only difference is there's a common iliac vein, and we don't see that on the arterial side. So let's name the veins as we come down through there. We looked at the ones up above, I think, already. All right, big blue tube is called what? Okay, inferior vena cava. A little blue tube above the kidney that should attach to the vena cava here that goes to the adrenal gland. Adrenal lumbar. Big blue tube going to the kidney. Renal vein. Little blue tubes going to the ovary. Gonadal. Blue tubes coming off at 90-degree angles down here, just like the red tubes. Iliolumbar. Now we have a 3-way split. The first big split, where all the vessels are still joined together, is common iliac. About halfway to where the deep femoral vein is, we have one that dives deeper in called the internal iliac. What's left is called the external iliac. Then there's a blue passageway that goes deep into the thigh, and what's left is femoral. And then way down deep is the blue tube going to the tail. All right, you got your arteries and veins on the cat. Ta-da! All right, when you guys come and work with the animals, with the cats,